From indie darlings to the top figures in their respective crafts, Danielson and CM Punk. We're going to get into it today. But first, my name's Michael.
My name's Steven.
And welcome to Suplex. Those who may not know, Steven and I watch a little bit of wrestling before we get into this. And we just finished, I guess, the better part of SummerSlam, right? We watched the last couple of matches.
As someone who's watched like SummerSlam the last 10 years, this is on the better half of the SummerSlams that I have watched. It was a safe pay-per-view, but it was good. They were fun matches.
Yeah. One match I thought that was kind of fun, and I think it has to do with your man here, CM Punk, Mr. He was really, really cared about that bracelet. That bracelet means everything to him. It has his dog. It has his dog's name on it.
It does. I don't watch the weekly television as much.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what like specific meaning that bracelet had.
He took it off. Drew took it off him after he like beat him up in Chicago. It's got his wife's name and his dog's name on it.
Who made the bracelet for him.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
Because I feel like that played an important part. Because it was like, oh, that was a fan's gift or something.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than if he just showed up one day with the bracelet and now Drew took it from him.
Yeah.
And he's mad because it has his family member's name on it. And Larry.
He fought for that thing like it was a Horcrux for his family. Like he fought
for this thing like it was a championship.
Yeah, he did. He's like this 6-month feud that I've had with Drew McIntyre. I was calling him Drew Matthews. Who's Drew Matthews? Sounds like a football player.
Well, no, it's
Drew
Matthews is actually the alternate Earth version of Dave Matthews. Where it was
did he drop poop on people?
Oh yeah, that's a universal concept. That happens in every
event.
That happens in every multiverse.
Okay, good enough.
Like easily.
Good to know.
That's every multiverse. That's just an anchor point. If you've seen Deadpool and Wolverine, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Whoa, don't talk about that. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not. That's
Wolverine's in the movie.
Oh, dude, no.
Deadpool says it's pulling time and pulls all over the place. You won't know if that's actually in the movie or not because it might actually be.
I'm like, I don't want to get on the movie TikTok talk trend here, but I do just want to say like
there were wrestling moves.
I really hope
Lucha Pool was in the movie.
I hope
you don't know if I'm telling the truth or not because it's a Deadpool movie and it could be in there.
I don't know enough about Deadpool to even say if that's a character or not. I just want
it is actually.
The only thing I want to know is Morbius in it.
Well,
lie to me gently.
There's a vampire in the movie.
Oh,
so that'll.
Oh, I love vampires.
So there's a vampire. There is a vampire in the movie. I'm not going to tell you which vampire it is.
Oh no!
But there is a Marvel vampire in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yikes!
So well,
I'll probably go see it this week. Cheap movie day. Shout out Cheap Movie Day Tuesdays.
Whichever vampire it happens to be, you'll find out.
Yeah. Chet, what's the? Well, I think it's time for us to get back to the wrestling here. CM Punk. That was like 3 or 4 minutes of wrestling or about movie TikToking. Also, I'd just like to mention that CM Punk had about 3 or 4 minutes before. Why don't you click on that and see? Yeah, there you go. That'll work. Yeah. All right, cool. Anyways, so CM Punk, he looked great. He seemed like he was.
Thanks for joining the live, guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Drop some likes here. But anyways, CM Punk looked good. His body looked in good shape. It did not seem too terribly good cardiovascularly. He seemed a little tired.
CM Punk is the Derrick Rose of wrestling. He's from Chicago. He's constantly injured, and he's one of the greatest of all time.
That's fair. Yeah, I think CM Punk's one of the greatest of all times. But yes, he has been. And his first match back, right? First real WWE match. I know a lot of people are saying, well, Royal Rumble, and that's not really a match. Like,
this was his first singles match.
And I think they did a good job in the storytelling department. CM Punk was he left a little bit to be desired. I don't know if the injury was holding him back or whatnot, but it was rough going.
I mean, I think also he's coming right back off an injury. After having like multiple matches where it was match injury, match injury, match injury, match injury.
Sure.
You probably want to play it a little safe.
Yeah, I get that.
So it's understandable. But man, them feuding over the bracelet might be the funniest thing ever. It's why?
It was kind of silly. Like
Wrestling is inherently silly.
the thing that real quick,
when you do something that even inside of the wrestling, you're like, that's silly. That's a little ridiculous. You might want to take a step back and go, yeah, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree. It was.
I see it from I hate this man so much.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much they hate each other. Like, but even then, there were better ways.
Okay, so like, there's a moment in this match, spoiler alert, where the bracelet falls to the ground, and like, Seth Rollins sees it, picks it up, and he puts it on his wrist just to be like, oh, okay, I'll hold this for later. It's something on the floor. And CM Punk finds that Seth Rollins is wearing the bracelet.
And he's mad.
And he overacts. He's like, why are you wearing this? And to which Seth Rollins just playing. It was
on the ground, man.
I picked it up
on so it would be out of the way.
I thought it would be bad to bump on it. I picked it up, put it on my wrist. I'll give it to you later. We can finish this match now?
That makes sense.
Drew McIntyre's on the floor. Do you want to go do something to him? Why are you wearing my bracelet? That was what
Punk has brainworms.
He does. He's got Robert Kennedy brainworms. Talking to the tip of that microphone. You've seen Kill Tony. Dude, why were you
Why were you doing this?
It's got my dog and wife's name on it.
It's the color of Bret Hart and has 5 stars.
The other thing that's so funny about CM Punk's reaction is like CM Punk at this point is in Seth Rollins' face, just, why are you wearing this? And CM Punk gets hit in the back, takes Seth Rollins down off the apron.
Punk screws Punk.
Yeah, and then Punk hits the GTS, and then he gets mad at Seth Rollins. He goes, where were you to count the 3? And it's like, dude, how hard did you hit Seth Rollins' head? Did you forget? You just bumped him off the apron 2 seconds ago?
And then he gives Seth Rollins a GTS afterwards.
Yeah. I think Punk has brainworms. It made no sense.
Punk is just mad.
He also, Seth Rollins had the bracelet at that point, I'm pretty sure, and he hits the GTS. Did he? Then he goes over there
and takes it off of Seth Rollins. Like, so this is after he has laboriously removed it from Drew McIntyre.
It's also,
he is struggling to pull it off of a man's limp arm.
Yeah,
Drew is not fighting him at all at this point. And he's just struggling to get the bracelet off.
It's not like one of those not one of those felt friendship bracelets that they tie onto you. No, it's a rubber band with beads on it.
Pull it off.
Just pull it off. It's fine.
But he was really struggling to get that off of his hand.
And
then he pulled it off Seth's hand, and then he lost. And then he got it removed. Drew took it back.
The final shot was Drew holding up his hand with the bracelet,
just looking at the bracelet
like he was Thanos. Like he collected all the Infinity Stones and he's ready to snap CM Punk out of existence. And then like
Drew was like, I'm inevitable.
Yeah, he goes, I've got the bracelet. Money in the bracelet. Is it? Dude, that's insane. I'm sorry, but why isn't the answer like, let's just say it was made by a sick kid. If that sick kid's still around, just like CM Punk, reach out to him like, hey, Jimmy, can you make me another one of those bracelets? Because obviously, I got a problem.
It better have been made by someone on the level of Connor the Crusher. Otherwise, I don't buy into this feud.
Yeah. Dude, that's insane. Well, speaking of feuds, let's get into our debate today. These two guys were at one point the indiest of indie darlings when they were both in ROH.
The IWC's
Golden Boys.
Baby boys. They're the baby Billies.
Oh, they could do no wrong.
Nothing is wrong.
That's the thing. These two guys get away with so much
wrestling sainthood, if you will.
Yes. I would say that Daniel Bryan might be the most technically gifted American wrestler of all time. And I think that's why one of the reasons I think that makes him the right answer on who is better between these two. But in that same breath, I have to say that CM Punk has is so charismatic in what he does. It puts him right on the same level with Danielson.
His charisma is insane.
It's insane. No, it is literally insane.
When he speaks, you're like, let me listen to this man. Because he's probably going to say something entertaining.
Right. Yeah,
and not in a ha ha way, in a that was pretty cool kind of way.
Yeah. No, 100%. That's what I think here, right? I think that Danielson had, but here's the thing. I don't want to
Where the better one lies is where we want to put, like, what are we valuing more on a certain level? Because I think they're if we had to do on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Danielson's a 10 in wrestling. Punk is a 10 in fucking promo skills.
Yeah.
And in wrestling, I would say CM Punk's like an 8.
Sure. But I guess
promo skills, I would say Daniel Bryan's
like a 7.5.
A 7.5 and an 8.
Yeah.
It's about
in that area.
where they are, the other one is strong, the other one's a little bit weaker in.
Right.
But they're both really good at the other thing too.
I think these two are
They're all time.
So far of the things that we've done and we've debated this year, these two are the most evenly matched. Evenly matched. Because
easily.
You're 100% right. You nail it. And I think that the way that we get to the bottom of this is we have to look at the certain points. Let's look at each person. Like, I can sit here and say Danielson has had hour-long matches with Hangman and Kenny Omega and all these cool things that he's done. We all know that. And you could say that.
I think it comes down to...
Well, hold on. I'm not done with my point. Just let me have my floor here. I think that we have to look at look at their deficiencies, quote unquote deficiencies, right? What is Danielson's best promo, Danielson's best storyline that he's done? What's CM Punk's best match? You know, let's look at their lower attributes. Because we sit here and just say the pipe bomb, the 60-minute matches, you know, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But just go with me here. Just and just indulge me. I think Danielson's charisma, what comes through, like in a lot of his storylines, but I think one of the ones that's come through the most on was the Yes Movement. That was an organic piece of WWE, like much like Cody Rhodes, right? Much like the Cody Crybabies, like they got the WrestleMania main event changed. I think that has to talk to Danielson's charisma, his ability to be a fan favorite, because I'll be honest, though he was a good wrestler, the straight up mat grabs were not getting him the average fan, right? I don't care how good you are as a wrestler in ring in WWE. We watched Ricochet wrestle forever there and just never really got over. It's not just grabs. It's, you got to be able to connect. And I think that that's where Danielson has, like, I know we said he's like a 7 and an 8, but he has the ability to get to like an 11, essentially. There's very few more manly things than the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
A vegan?
Yeah, he's a vegan. He's strong.
A liberal?
He's a strong vegan liberal. Both of these guys are liberals. What are you talking about? I don't want to get too much into that, but yeah, they're both liberals. What's wrong with you? Oh yeah, we also have the red and blue microphones. We are very politics coded right now. Very interesting. Anyways,
got the Sleepy Joe microphone over there.
That's right. You mean Kamala. Anyways, so back to what we were talking about. I think that Daniel Bryan's ceiling of what he can do inside like a promo, inside a storyline is so high, it even changed WrestleMania. I don't think your boy CM Punk has ever changed a main event at WrestleMania, and I think that might be a little check in my book.
Well, yeah, he did by getting fired on his birthday, or his wedding day. So he probably did change an event of WrestleMania by being fired.
No, I mean, he was never added. CM Punk has never main evented a WrestleMania.
He never has main evented a WrestleMania.
I don't think, and I don't mean this to be mean to the man, because they have 2 nights now, he might get to. But there's still a distinct possibility that he will never get to main event at WrestleMania.
My prediction is that he will this WrestleMania he's gonna get night. I think Drew, Seth, and Punk, after they're probably gonna do the trios match at Bad Blood. Yeah. Not to get too off track here.
Yeah, I got you.
But I think that this WrestleMania, it's either gonna be Punk and Drew or Punk and Seth night 1.
I could see it. Yeah. But you know, also, why wouldn't you have your World Heavyweight title, your Women's World Championship? Because I don't think CM Punk's going to be in any of those title pictures.
I mean, unless they somehow pivot Gunther into the feud.
Yeah, unless he's going to take the belt off of...
Unless Drew takes the belt off Gunther.
Yeah.
Which...
Punk takes the belt off Rhea. Logan Paul would be mad about that.
Punk takes the belt off Rhea?
Yeah, takes the belt off
He's
Rhea.
the women's champion?
Yeah, just to piss off Logan Paul.
He takes the belt off Rhea to give it to AJ?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, like
Listen,
in $1 million
Listen,
man Andre the Giant bit.
Listen, if he could
Very
convince
funny.
AJ to come back, I feel like that would make him the greatest of all time.
I think she. I don't know if she has any interest in wrestling. I hope she's doing well. Shout out AJ Lee.
Shout out CM Punk's wife.
Shout out
AJ
Larry
Lee.
and
Shout out Larry, who were both involved in this match by
shout out the
way
bracelet.
of that bracelet.
Yeah,
Man, that bracelet.
dude, that
That bracelet just hurts my argument so hard.
It does. He cared about a bracelet.
He cared about a bracelet. Punk screwed Punk,
He did.
unfortunately.
But that seems to be the story of Punk all the time.
But like in storyline, that's another thing that I'll say to both men's credit.
Yeah.
They are more than willing to put over the next generation of wrestlers. Way more than willing. Because both men have, like, Punk came back and has basically lost almost every single match he has come back. AEW, WWE, regardless, he's been there to take the fall. So we can't say even like, because people say he's got an ego about wrestling. But would he have an ego about wrestling if he genuinely was losing this much?
Here's the thing. No. But I think the losses, hear me out here. This may seem crazy at the beginning, but the losses look like they're so big because he didn't ever win anything because he's been hurt. He won the AEW World Heavyweight Championship and got injured. There's no way he wouldn't have gone on a tear, destroying the AEW roster as the new golden boy for AEW. He just got hurt. And that's the thing. We haven't seen him go on a run yet because I think he would be winning more because
I think that AEW run was his last real chance at a run. Personal opinion. I think that was his last real, I'm going to get a belt and beat everyone.
Yeah.
I think that he will still get a win here and there. I think he wins the Drew and Punk Seth feud at the end of it. I think he's the one that comes out on top on all of that.
Sure.
But I don't think he's going to get to have a big beats everyone belt run because he's been injured so much. That kind of shows, unfortunately, like you can't put a belt on a guy who gets injured every other match.
You can't. And
freak accidents happen.
Sure.
Accidents happen, but when
somebody's
you've broken your ankle like 3 times, like you've injured the same leg like 3 or 4 times.
How many injuries has he had since he's come back to wrestling?
There's been the leg.
He had 2 injuries at AEW. Broke his foot or leg or something.
Yeah, he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
At AEW.
He dove. It was from diving into the fans, wasn't it?
Yeah, when he dove into the fans, his ankle hit the barricade and broke his ankle.
Hate that. I love seeing like
that was when he came back too. He was just happy to be back, and he broke his ankle and then had to go away.
We should have known that
it was cursed from the beginning.
Snake bit from day one.
It was like, oh, this is gonna be bad for him.
CM Punk's like, I'm coming back to wrestling, and the universe is like hell you are.
It's like, no, we're gonna break your leg, and then we're gonna break it again.
Then he had the arm injury because this is the same arm he injured.
Yeah,
twice.
And then he injured the arm in AEW,
and he came back in 2022.
Then he returned. Then he left AEW and came back to WWE and injured his leg again.
No, his arm again.
His arm.
It was the DDT. I think he tore his tricep.
Well, no, because he came back.
Okay.
And then he had another. I thought he had an injury, and then he got injured at the Royal Rumble.
Oh, I think you're right.
Like he got hurt. He was out for like a month or 2. It wasn't a bad injury.
Right. There's a reason.
It was like he re-injured his leg, but not to a bad extent.
He didn't come back until Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and then he came back at the Royal Rumble and then got his arm broken at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Which was the same arm that was injured the last time. So we have a guy who in the span of coming back has injured the same 2 body extremities 2 times. They're not it's freak accidents.
Right.
But at that point, he's just, if he gets hurt that easily,
sure,
you can't put a belt on him.
No, and I understand, and it's an unfortunate realization.
But I think that was his last chance at a run.
Yeah,
I think now it's just he will have wins, but I don't foresee the belt in the next year being on him.
Sure.
Danielson is in. They might put a belt. He might get a belt,
and I
that's up in the air right now.
Yeah.
But they could.
I want to touch on that.
This is the if you want to go ahead and you can touch on that, then
Yes.
since that's your guy.
But I understand what you're saying. Here's the thing with Danielson, he's also had the same injury. So I don't want to sit here and say like, oh, woe is me, Punk is glass fill. What did Moxley say? Fragile ego, fragile body,
Well,
fragile mind.
Here's the thing with Punk's injuries. Punk could injure his arm another 100 times.
Sure.
Bryan Danielson can maybe take one more head bump and then he's probably done forever.
Oh.
You know, like he's no longer getting in a wrestling ring or maybe walking ever again.
Yeah. But here's the thing though. Danielson has had the broken arm. He broke his arm against Okada. He's been injured a few other times. He had the eye injury. He had he had a bunch of things, right? So both of these guys, and a lot of the injuries that are caused to Danielson are probably because of, the style of wrestling Danielson likes to do.
He's not. That's the other thing is Danielson's scary because he hasn't tried to slow down the way he's wrestled.
No.
You can tell with Punk in his older age, Punk still hits like the Punk classics,
sure.
the GTS, the moves that we know him for,
right?
The Pepsi Splash, or he still he'll still hit his known moves.
Yeah, he will.
But he doesn't wrestle as active, have a high flying style. He's not jumping off of anything and everything. We'll still get jumps here and there, but his wrestling is a lot more grounded than Danielson is now. Yeah. Danielson is still like, I can do 3 flips off the top rope. Watch me do it. And then he does it, but he lands weird and makes us all think he has seriously injured himself.
And this might get me a little heat, right? But I truly feel this way. It's safe. It is PG Punk. It is absolutely PG Punk. He is a shell of his former self. And I'm going to litigate this a little bit harder because I watched some of these back, right? And
he always wrestled in the PG era, though. He was always
no. Listen. I'm talking like we. This is meant to be a debate, right? We've been a little friendly with each other. You're my friend. I like you, but I'm ready to actually put a little clause in this one. CM Punk went to AEW, realized he could not hang with the new school, and he said, get me back to the land of sports entertainment where I can do a rest hold. CM Punk, from where he was cardiovascularly going into AEW to where he is now in WWE, like he went an hour dog collar match with MJF. Dude, he could not go a full 20-minute brawling match with Drew McIntyre. Meanwhile, Danielson right now is still able. If you told Daniel he's going to wrestle like this upcoming Wednesday. Sorry, if you're watching this on the Friday that this drops, Danielson has already wrestled Jeff Jarrett. I'm not sure how long that match was, but I'm sure if Danielson went to Tony Khan, he said, "Can I wrestle Jeff Jarrett for an hour?" And Tony Khan goes, "Huh?" And Danielson could respond, "I will give you a 5-star Jeff Jarrett match where he is the babyface because I want to see if I can do it." Like, Danielson is on a different level with his wrestling at this moment, where he is just like doing side
Would Jeff Jarrett be able to go an hour?
No, but Danielson would carry his lifeless, his compromised to a permanent end body to the finish.
He would weekend at Bernie's Jeff Jarrett.
Yes, he could carry Jeff
Jarrett. Just like
Jarrett.
Roman weekend at Bernie's The Undertaker.
Yes, I think that Danielson could absolutely do that. Danielson wrestled Satnam Singh like 2 months ago because he thought, you know what? I want to give this man the best match I can. Like, what's the best match I could possibly get out of Satnam Singh? And he got a very passable match. Danielson looks at these. I think Danielson, like, some people walk into a room and size people up. They're like, could I fight these people? Danielson probably walks into a room and goes, could I get a good match out of here with? Like, he's at an Applebee's looking at the busboy. You're like, oh yeah, he could take Canadian Destroyer. I think he could do real well. CM Punk struggled in this match. And at the end of it, it's pro wrestling, babe. Every single story, I don't care what the start is. They're fighting on Twitter. Your guy's sending mean tweets to another guy. There's Twitter fingers. It still has to end in a wrestling ring. And when the story crescendos in a wrestling ring, there's no one I would want more in the wrestling ring than Danielson. Hands down. The floor is yours to make your stupid point about how CM Punk can wrestle. I'm checking this camera.
So while CM Punk can wrestle, very well, in fact, if we look at the quality of his feuds and the story meat of the feuds,
Yeah,
Punk has had better storylines, has had far better storylines than Danielson has.
dude, Danielson was able to get over it with one word.
Okay, yes, he got over with one word, but that's a single storyline.
Yeah.
Okay? That's one storyline that everyone absolutely hated at the beginning of.
Dude,
when it started.
The Planet's Champion was also amazing.
That whole thing started with Danielson getting kicked and losing a championship in 6 seconds and everyone hating it.
That's true. It's true.
Everyone hated it. It's one of the worst squashes of all time.
To be fair, he at least got to lose his title after getting kicked. CM Punk got kicked backstage and they just took the belt off him at Unforgiven. He didn't even get the 6 seconds. At least Danielson got a Mania moment out of it.
They took the belt off of him. Well, not took the belt, but they squashed him in one of the worst regarded squash matches of all time. Danielson has been involved in some very mid storylines throughout his time period.
Well, now, why was Danielson like smooching on CM Punk's wife? Is that why he lost that match? Is that what yeah, he was.
Oh, that was
right.
Between the AJ.
Did my guy just you go sit in your little chair in the corner of the hotel room, Punk, while the real man wrestles for 16 seconds. 6 seconds.
No, that was a different match.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought that was the Sheamus match. I thought
it was a different Sheamus match.
How many times has he lost to Sheamus at Mania?
He's lost to Sheamus like twice at Mania, I think.
Yeah. Let's see.
There was once where with the 6 second, that might have been the AJ Lee spot where she distracted him at the very beginning.
Danielson, 16 seconds. 6 seconds. I don't know. 6 seconds. Let's see. I'll find it. No.
Just look up WrestleMania 2011.
WrestleMania 2011. I don't know if it was 2011 though.
Might have been. I'm pretty sure it was. I could be very wrong.
I don't know.
Oh, he wins both of them. Which WrestleMania?
11. Yeah, hold on. Daniel Bryan. $18 seconds. All right, 18 seconds. Sheamus. It was the Sheamus match. Oh, hold on. Let me go ahead and flip this on to Windows Capture so people can see what I'm looking at.
We can see our images.
There you go. Irishman, 18 seconds. Oh, yeah, see? Yeah, there it is. Huh. Why did Danielson lose? Because he was smooching your boy's wife.
They were married? What? That's not an argument. This is a debate, not an ad hominem attack zone.
Get in your
Get out of here.
Get in your weird little chair, CM Punk, in the hotel room.
No. Let's read the rest of it because you're taking it out of context.
Oh, because
it happened before the bell.
Right, he kissed her. Dude, I remember this match. You tell me. Look,
let's.
Danielson lost the match in 18 seconds of WrestleMania because he wanted to do something memorable and surprise for the fans. That's why he lost. That was the backstage reason, right? He was, let's see, get over the bro kick. Oh, wow. He wanted to help Sheamus get over. He wanted to get over the bro kick. Wow. What a nice man.
Everyone hated it. It's like the finger poke of doom.
Yeah.
On paper, it sounds good. Yeah, well, get your move over, man.
Yeah.
People love it. I'm the heel, and everyone hated it and thought it was the worst thing ever.
I don't care. See, it was a WrestleMania moment for Daniel Bryan.
One of the worst regarded WrestleMania moments.
No, the worst one is when Becky Lynch beat Bianca Belair in like 8 seconds. Was that at WrestleMania? I think that was at WrestleMania.
No, it was.
Yeah, that was bad. Anyways, look, back to the point that I was making. Danielson can go and can still go. And in pro wrestling...
No, this was my point. I was talking about CM Punk.
Okay, tell me.
You were giving me the floor. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
CM Punk in WWE,
yes,
his most recent run, has not been super amazing.
Would you say? But
it's been injury prone. Like, it's very injury prone.
But that's been the story of his return to wrestling.
Yeah, but in AEW, he put on the dog at least the dog collar, bare minimum the dog collar match.
Right.
Is one of his top 3 matches of all time.
I agree. I agree.
Easily one of the best things he's done.
100%.
Storyline to match to build, all of it was perfect.
Sure.
It was great. Everything was great. MJF was a good opponent. MJF was probably the only person in the company you could put with Punk and not have him verbally destroy in the middle of the ring.
Other than Seth Rollins, MJF is the best person in pro wrestling to have that story with CM Punk, despite them having 0 prior history. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no history. At least with Punk and Rollins, there is like Ring of Honor. There's a ton of history, and you can play off. They really hate each other.
Yeah,
and you can play off that really well.
100%.
With MJF, like no one in AEW, it's like no one has history with Punk besides. We watched you when we were a kid. That's like the most history. That's the most history people have in AEW with Punk was we watched you when we were kids. MJF was the only person at that point you could put in the ring that had some kind of connection to Punk.
Sure.
That verbally held his own against Punk. And even then he barely held his own against Punk verbally. Because there were a few times where you could see MJF go, I don't know what to say right now.
Yeah.
You hit me with something I wasn't expecting.
Well, speaking of hitting, you were gonna make some points.
So yes, Danielson's had some great matches. He's had one big moment in wrestling.
WrestleMania 30.
There's WrestleMania 30 of him holding both the belts up. That is an iconic moment. We can't say that it's not.
Yeah.
Just as iconic as CM Punk sitting in the crowd and blowing Cena a kiss with the belt.
100%.
Daniel Bryan had a moment. CM Punk had a summer.
Yeah, on the B-list pay-per-view. Who gives a shit?
On SummerSlam, the one that they're selling as one of the big 4?
It was Money in the Bank where he won the title.
Even then, Money in the Bank's one of the big 4.
No, it's not. Not anymore. It's not one of the big 4 when there's 4. How do you have...
It's Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania. Those are their 4.
You're an idiot. What's the one in November, dummy? Survivor Series. That's the big 4. You stupid idiot.
They don't use the big 4 anymore.
Yes, it is. Survivor Series is one of the big 4. It's one of the ones that's going to be 2 nights.
They're not doing Survivor Series over 2 nights. They're just doing it's just SummerSlam that they're doing over.
I thought it was.
They're expanding SummerSlam to 2 nights, and
Series 2 nights.
There's the possibility that they're going to do the Rumbles over 2 nights.
Let's see. Survivor Series. Oh, that's for this year. Oh, no, 2025. You're right. It's 2025 was the one for SummerSlam. It's going to be 2 nights. They're getting War Games. But it is one of the big 4. You said they have a new big 4. No, it's not. It's the same big 4. They're trying to push other pay-per-views, but I'll be honest, even if you want to say, fine, if you want to classify the 5th big 4 and say Money in the Bank, it's not WrestleMania. I don't know why I'm having that discussion. It's not WrestleMania.
Okay,
but it's the show of shows. It's the show of shows.
So that moment set off an entire summer of a moment.
Yeah, and then what'd it do?
30 seconds versus be one of the most remembered and well-regarded periods of pro wrestling and one of the worst periods of WWE historically.
It was a shining jewel in a pile of crap.
Yeah, same for the Daniel Bryan Cena 30. Which was one of the worst years for WWE.
Hey, Dave Bautista came back. You be nice.
It was an awful year for that was one of the worst years. Regardless,
it's the worst years. I understand,
but that they both had the moments in the worst years. But Danielson's was a single moment that made one match watchable.
Yeah. He saved WrestleMania.
CM Punk made 3 months worth of television watchable.
I mean, we were all watching the Daniel Bryan thing coming up to it as well, but
no. People were, but the moment
Yeah.
then made people excited to actually watch after.
I mean,
And it carried the whole story a month.
How did that story end? How did the CM Punk...
With him getting fired.
Was that it?
I'm pretty sure Summer of Punk ended.
Second City Saints.
I think he dropped the belt and then...
It was 2011. Here we go. WWE Champion. I forget how it ends. Survivor Series defeats Del Rio. Ooh, that's a name we don't need anymore.
Rodeo.
Over the Limit. Raw 1000. Let's see. Final storyline. How did he lose his belt? WWE recognized the longest reign. Broke the record. Who won? At Royal Rumble, he lost. Oh my God, he lost against The Rock.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
The Rock, yeah.
Oh no.
Listen.
No, I forgot about that.
But this was when The Rock was still like involved in wrestling, and it was still during the Rock comes back for WrestleMania period every year that Cena had. Yeah,
he ended it. What happened with that run? He jobbed to The Rock.
He jobbed to the most important professional wrestler of the last 30 years. Wow, crazy.
Dude.
He jobbed to the biggest star of the last 30 to 40 years. Yeah, that's crazy. He lost to one of the biggest names in professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He lost to the man who at that point was then the highest paid actor in Hollywood. Wow, crazy, guys.
Yeah,
he lost to the guy that had the superstar power. That's crazy, guys.
But Danielson beat Dave Bautista, and Dave Bautista is a much better actor than The Rock, so I don't know what you're yapping about.
Much poorer, too.
Who cares? He looks better and he's cooler.
Yeah, but Batista didn't have the effect on pro wrestling that The Rock did.
Okay, yeah, fair.
I mean, if we're going to go in who's better opponent now, if that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But
The Rock
lost to The Rock. You know who else has lost to The Rock? Every single person who's wrestled against The Rock.
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes
lost to The Rock.
Cody Rhodes not only lost to The Rock, Cody Rhodes got pinned clean in the center of the ring with zero interference from anyone by The Rock. Cody Rhodes, who is the current WWE champion.
He's going to lose to The Rock, much like CM Punk did.
No, he's going over.
Maybe, hopefully.
He's Cena, but everyone actually loved him from the beginning.
Look, CM Punk is a shadow of his former self, and he brings baggage. I know the reports are he's being a good boy in WWE, and I'm very glad about that. But the fact that CM Punk can't keep his hands to himself and has to beat up Jungle Boy backstage is kind of lame. It was a whack part of it. Like, I know a lot of, like, we saw the footage. CM Punk walks up to Jungle Boy, gets in his face. And I don't know what was said, but then starts trying to choke him and hit him. And like, dude, you're at work. You're a millionaire. Grow up. He is a 27-year-old kid.
You can't let people get close, dude.
You can't let people get close. But he walked up to Jungle Boy.
Yeah, you can't let people get close.
So Jungle Boy shouldn't have let Punk get close.
Well, no. That's the thing, is
he walked up to Jungle Boy.
Yeah, he walked up to talk to him, and then Jungle Boy got closer.
He couldn't get closer. He stopped. He just was there with them. They were just there.
Yeah, you can't let people get close. Once you're that close, you can't let people get close.
But it's like the Forrest Griffin.
No, it's the Chael Sonnen thing. It's Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva. No, you can't let someone get that close to you.
But if
you do, they're going to hit you, so you might as well get them first.
Right, but it's that way Forrest Griffin used to pick fights with people, like get in their face and then like kind of not challenge them, but irk them into a fight and then kick their ass. Jungle Boy did not throw hands. Jungle Boy was tussling his hair when CM Punk tried to choke him. Which is like, I love Chris Hero, by the way. In that video, he's like, oh my God. Like, he's like, oh God, oh no.
Not again.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like, oh no, there's cameras this time.
He's like, oh my God, you used to do this in Indiana. It's in that barn up there at IWA. But like, here's the thing. CM Punk is kind of a hypocrite to me, right? This is my biggest problem with why I can't rock with him so much anymore. Is like, he goes into that AEW press conference. He says like, I hate when these people go into business for themselves and start yapping, and then meanwhile is literally going into business for himself yapping and does it the next week on television. It's like, you You may hate that thing. I totally understand that. But you are doing that thing.
Well, if you can't beat them, join them.
Right,
No. So that's the thing, is I think that the way that Punk is in WWE versus the way that he is in AEW doesn't necessarily speak to CM Punk. It speaks to the culture behind the scenes. But what I'm saying is that AEW, for better or worse, seems to let the wrestlers do whatever they kind of want to do within reason. Whereas with WWE, they kind of like, hey, hold on. Things are going through a committee at WWE.
Maybe a little more
things are not
more micromanaged, right?
No,
not in a negative. I mean,
not in a negative way. I think,
but it is a lot of inputs.
There's more than one person, one or two people saying, "Hey, does this sound good? Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, let's go do that." You know,
I think there's a few people in it. I think they have agents. You know, they have producers.
Well,
they have people like it's. I know a lot of people like to think it's Tony Khan back there holding a camera.
No, they have agents and people that are probably go-betweens.
Yeah,
but I feel as though the buck stops with Tony, and if Tony says yes or no, then that's kind of how it's going to go. Or if it sounds like something that you'd say, "Hey, Tony might like this."
Yeah, Tony might like it. Tony's
then they'll go with
anything.
that. Yeah. With WWE, everything's going through a committee.
No,
there is a focus group of people that is looking at that.
Yeah.
And I think culture-wise, that can foster a lot more just like, I'm not going to say disrespect, but it's a lot more laissez-faire. You know what I mean? People are just going to be less corporate about stuff.
Sure.
Which, for better or worse, people are going to act less professional in AEW than they would WWE. I've worked in situations where I've worked for similar companies, where it's a small mom and pop business versus working for the big company side of it.
Right.
And I can tell you, the mom and pop, I got away with a lot more. A lot of things that you'd be like, oh, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
People would probably get called HR on in other companies, you know.
What a stunning self-report from yourself.
No, what I'm saying is there is enough company, like when you work at a mom and pop, you get a lot more leeway.
Sure.
Because there's a lot less oversight.
Right. I used to work at a local laser tag establishment here, and it's family run. And the stuff that you could get away with there was insane. You could just mess with customers. You can do whatever you want, as long as within the bounds of like not doing anything too mean, but like sometimes
as long as you're not doing anything illegal, you're good.
Right. And sometimes you would have bad customers, and the bosses would be like, dude, just like mess with them a little bit.
Here for reference, one of the places I worked, I was at one point allowed to just grab stuff out of the store and it would just get taken out of my check.
It's very like the Amazon shopping place. Like
I'll just pick stuff up, and it was a very informal type of thing.
Sure.
That is not.
No.
That is a no.
No.
But if no one says anything, then who's gonna know?
No
one's gonna know. It's not gonna show up on anyone's thing. Versus, let me try that at, working at a big box retail place.
Nope.
That would not fly. Everyone would be like, no, you're crazy. And that's kind of what I'm getting at.
And that's why you're not allowed at Circuit City anymore.
Listen, if I was of the age to have worked at Circuit City when they were closing down, I would have stolen so many things on my last day.
Dude, I can't tell you.
I would have walked out of there with an Xbox 360. I would have walked out of there with a PS3. I would have walked out of there with every single thing I could carry. No one would have stopped me.
See, we're not to the point where we can admit to crimes that we would commit. We're admitting to crimes that we would have committed if we had a time machine.
Yeah, if we had this isn't a crime I would commit right now, but if I had a time machine to go back and be a 30-year-old working at Circuit City in 2007, 2008, yeah, I'd do it. I would have had a new sound system for my car.
Yeah, I don't want to go on a diatribe about it, but the guys that I worked with at Laser Blaze all came from the previous Circuit City, and that's exactly what they did. 100%. That's what they're saying. They're like, oh yeah, we would just sign the times. We'd be like, oh yeah, Jerry worked 20 hours in the last 2 days. Make sure you give him his overtime. They said it was like a looting fiasco at the end.
The employees just
everything. They're like, whatever.
I mean,
whatever. Yeah,
all the other creditors are going to get paid, and there was probably some wage theft in there or whatever. At that point, you're just getting
even, babe. Yeah,
you're just even in the book.
That's a receipt, babe.
Let's get our closing arguments.
Let's get our closing arguments in here. If you're in the live here, also drop us some likes here. I'm gonna look through the chat real quick. Let's see. D-Bry over the limit. That's what you were talking about earlier. Darby.
Yeah, I was talking to the chat.
Yeah, I got you. Cool. All right, cool. All right. Let's get to our final arguments here. You want to go first?
Yeah, let me go first.
Go for it.
All right.
Tell me why CM Punk is better than Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, the American Dragon.
So I want you to do something for me here. I need you to look up one factoid for me.
One factoid.
Could you please tell me how many times Daniel Bryan has been on the front of a WWE 2K game versus how many times CM Punk has been?
Let me Google that.
I know the answer. Bryan has never been on one. Danielson's Punk has. I'm talking about the standard edition, not any of
I was gonna say, what about, isn't there a standard edition? Whoa, I don't know. Isn't there a special edition?
I don't think he's even on one of the special editions.
Let's see, 2K.
Like, it has to be him featured as...
Sure, I got you. I don't know. I thought there was. That's 14. Is that... No, that's probably like fan art, right? Yeah.
Look at 2K14.
Oh, you're getting dunked on.
Hold on.
We got to show everybody. Hold on.
What's it say on there?
Hold on. Wait. Let's make it big.
Because I don't think it falls into the... It's one of those reversible covers.
Yeah, reversible cover. Oh, it looks like Danielson is on a reversible cover.
Yeah, they put him on the back.
He's on the cover.
Yes,
it does not matter.
He's on the reversible side.
Right. So who did you want? Do you want Danielson on your cover? It's right on the inside. Just turn your paper around.
Yeah, but who's on the main the original
2K14? I don't know.
2K14.
Let's see. Let's try that again. WWE 2K14. Who's on the cover? The Rock.
The Rock.
Of course.
He got upstaged. He was on the back. So
he's on the inside cover.
He's on the inside cover. All right.
Hold on. Time out.
And here's the thing.
I want to come back to this. And I'm going to take 2 seconds of your time. Walmart, $51 for 2K14? You're smoking.
So actually, look, we'll do it later, but video game prices on some of the older 2K games are getting
crazy.
Wild.
All right. Finish your argument.
So
reset this camera too.
My joke finisher is Punk was on the front of a WWE 2K game.
Sure.
And on AEW Fight Forever.
No, he got moved. I thought he got moved off, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did.
He did get moved off.
They had to take him off he got fired in between the time the game, because that game
was on the original. I think Kenny Omega took his spot, the dog saver. Shout out Kenny Omega.
But
shout out Mega Man. Shout out Mega Marts. Shout out.
But when we look at all of the memorable promos, moments, storylines,
sure,
just the quality of it.
Yep.
I gotta go with Punk. Like, it's just, he has an overall higher, like, the wrestling is good.
Yeah.
Let's not mince words on that.
Sure.
Like, Daniel Bryan has had absolute bangers.
Yep.
With basically everyone he's ever wrestled with.
Totally.
It's basically that's
he's good at
he's good at wrestling.
Yeah.
He's one of the few people that was able to make good wrestler a gimmick.
Yes. That's how good of a wrestler he is.
Like, yes, because he's like the best.
He's the best wrestler ever. Yeah.
Like, that's like,
one of them claims to be the best in the world, but I tell you what, it's a lot like the Game of Thrones line. The man who is the king a man who tells you he is the king is not the king.
But he is, though.
To be fair, though, I think Danielson wasn't no, Kings of Wrestling. Was that Danielson and... No, that was Claudio and KO. Or Cassius... not Cassius, no, Chris Hero. Never mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, but Punk... Because professional wrestling, if you want to boil it down to how good a person is in the ring as just professional wrestling, yeah, sure, Bryan's better. Like, I mean, there's no, like, Bryan's one of those people who's just naturally good at it. There's a natural talent there for wrestling.
Right.
But if you look at the complete package, the ability to give promos, the ability to get the crowd going one way or the other, Punk's got him.
Okay.
Like, just on the front of being a fully rounded professional wrestler.
Yeah.
And the storylines Punk has been in, he's done more with it.
Okay.
I think. With Bryan, it's when you look at his stories, there's like two or three moments you can really point to for Daniel Bryan that are like, oh yeah, that was a really great moment. That was awesome.
The turn on the Wyatts is pretty cool.
The turn on the Wyatts.
Everyone yelling at everyone with the yes. Let's first.
The whole everyone first the yes. Like, there's the yes chant. Like, obviously there's the yes chant. The belts getting held up, but I feel like that's the culmination of the yes chant, though. I feel like that the belts getting held up is part of the yes movement.
Yeah.
That was the end point, was having both belts, everyone chanting yes, pumping both belts in the air. Your storybook moment.
Sure. Man, you talk about summer Punk. Danielson had like a little winter, early spring moment.
but with Punk, it's obviously there's the pipe bomb. Like, I mean, we can get it out of the way. It's the most influential promo in wrestling.
So much so it changed the word.
It changed wrestling landscape of wrestling.
It became a noun.
It became its own thing.
Like
his name is a noun.
Like Google.
His name is a noun now. His name is genuine displeasure at WWE or AEW now.
It used, and I think that's gone a little bit by the wayside since he's come back.
It
did go to AEW for a little bit, because you're gonna have those people who are gonna be CM Punk, ride or die, and I totally get that.
I mean, to the Bucks and really to Jack Perry's credit, they played into it. They were like, you know what? You're gonna chant his name. We're going to make you sick of it and not chant it anymore.
That's right.
Because we're gonna chant it.
Yeah.
They made it not fun.
They did.
Which is
what you want to do.
They made it not fun to chant. They made it no longer fun to chant CM Punk at people.
WWE is probably like, we should have done that a decade ago.
WWE did 6 years of ignoring every Punk chant.
True.
And they kept getting Punk chants.
You're right.
AEW acknowledged it and then based one of their wrestlers' gimmicks, characters entirely around getting CM Punk fired, and it was done. It was finished. It's like, we can't do it when you're gonna acknowledge it, say we don't care. Here's the video of Punk doing stuff.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Good on them for playing it.
Sure.
But you look at the pipe bomb, you look at the matches he's had, even with Daniel Bryan.
Right.
Like, the matches, the builds, all of his feud with Cena, like, just
it's good stuff.
Daniel Bryan was fired from the Nexus. CM Punk saved the Nexus.
That's counselor. My crux of my argument is the Nexus. Please award me the victory. It's the dumbest thing imaginable. The Nexus was bad, but yes, it is very because the Nexus
was dead and was not doing good.
Real quick before I give me my final argument here, or I'll let you finish yours. Either way, look at the highs and the lows of the Nexus. The Nexus included Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, Husky Harris at the time, all the way down to like Ryback. Like, just a huge swing.
Okay, no, but that's the thing, is Ryback was like Goldberg
for a little bit,
for a few years there.
I know.
Him and Punk were even Punk and Ryback. Punk got good matches out of Ryback. He got good stories out of Ryback.
He also got hurt.
He did get hurt, but that's Ryback's fault.
He's very hurty. Also got lost. He also had a lawsuit. Oh, buddy, we didn't even, I didn't even get to touch on CM Punk and his whole lawsuit with Colt Cabana and his breaking up with his best friend and being a jerk. Well, CM Punk's a jerk.
Listen,
he didn't answer for his,
and Colt Cabana evades taxes
like any good American. Yes,
he uses his mom's bank account.
That's right. Allegedly.
Allegedly uses his
allegedly.
I mean, I feel like the person who's seen the stuff in the deposition would know.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't, is he working or is he shooting on that one, brother? Anyways, but finish your argument. I'm gonna destroy you.
As a whole,
Yeah.
If we look at their time in WWE.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we really want to like once them both in AEW. They both had good. Bryan's had a better run because he didn't get
good, but mileage may vary, right?
Mileage may vary.
Right.
Punk had one of the best matches AEW ever saw.
For sure. Oh yeah, 100%.
Like just
100%.
in terms of everything with that. But I say we don't look at those because at the end of the day, both of them have gotten incredibly injured during both of those runs.
Sure.
Bryan did get injured, obviously, in his WWE run up to his retirement.
Yep.
But that wasn't like injury, then injury, then injury, then injury. It was like injury, year or two passes, another concussion, year or two passes, another concussion. And then it built up, you build up 5 concussions over like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
That's different.
Sure.
That's not like injury prone. That's just Danielson has CTE. Like, I mean, like
he does not. He does not.
If you have that many concussions, you will have CTE. That is at the level where you are getting holes in your brain. CTE can develop after a single one.
How many concussions does it take to get CTE? Oh, wait, hold on.
It's unknown.
The exact number of concussions and head injuries that cause chronic traumatic is unknown. It's unknown, but this guy's like, he's got so many. Hold on real quick. It's 7 concussions too many. It's one of the related.
1 concussion is too many.
Look. Every person is different. That's what it first says. And this is from
probably Google AI.
No, it's from moodyneuro.org. It looks like a real medical thing. There's no definite number of how many head injuries a person can sustain before permanent damage occurs. So we don't know. Maybe he's built different. He's a dragon. He's not a man. Look.
Listen.
The answer here is clear. For the viewing audience at home, and I appreciate you all hanging in here with us through some technical difficulties and whatnot, but the answer is clear. Nice job there. The answer is clear. It is Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, the American Dragon, is clearly better than CM Punk. This is a man who had pro wrestling taken from him. He wanted nothing more in his entire life to wrestle. CM Punk, on the other hand, left pro wrestling on his own volition because he didn't like, the stuff that was going on in WWE. Fair enough. But didn't mean you couldn't go wrestle somewhere else. He could have. My man here was sidelined with a traumatic brain injury, allegedly. Neck. Yeah, what do you want?
1, he was fired. He didn't leave of his own volition. And where would he have gone?
TNA.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Okay.
New Japan. Like everybody who got fired from WWE at the time, they went to New Japan. CM Punk could have gone to New Japan.
He could have.
Do you know Danielson would
also a millionaire after he got fired?
Danielson's a millionaire, and he goes out there and wrestles these weird matches because he wants to. He loves. There's something to be said for somebody who has the love of this sport. And CM Punk, when he was in AEW, did not seem like he loved professional wrestling that much. I'll be honest. He didn't seem like he liked it. Danielson is the best professional wrestler, bar none, inside those ropes. Danielson has also gave us historic moments in professional wrestling that will not be forgotten. Danielson inside, giving those promos, that retirement speech that he had brought the audience to tears. Because that was a man, and that's something that we can all, and maybe not right now in our life, but at some point in our lives, we'll be able to draw that line between us and Danielson and say, there's going to be one day where you can't do the thing that you love anymore. And I think that makes him the much better character because he is somebody who's had that. We've watched his struggles. We watched CM Punk struggles. They were called the UFC fights that he had, and he got choked out. He went out and he looked bad. Danielson wouldn't do that. Danielson does want to fight a bear, though. I don't know why. He's got an obsession of fighting a bear. But Danielson gave us those moments. His moments of the yes movement, that entire run through WrestleMania 30, culminating at WrestleMania 30, was one of the best runs at a very poor time in WWE. But because of the people who got behind him, he's on the same level of somebody like Cody Rhodes, a folk hero in professional wrestling. Not saying CM Punk isn't, but I want to say since they both come back, CM Punk has ruined the story and the legend of CM Punk. I think CM Punk has done more damage to himself coming back instead of just staying on that golden perch where wrestling fans have put him. We've now seen a different side of him. And I say this being somebody who loves CM Punk, who loves watching him wrestle, who loves the way he talks, who came back and started getting back into wrestling because of CM Punk. He ain't got it no more. Danielson is almost done, but I think Danielson has the good sense to get out when he knows he can. And that's what we're going to see at this final, at All In, when Swerve and him are going to wrestle. It's the career versus title match. And I think that that's going to be, I can't think of a match that I'm more excited for because I don't know what the outcome's going to be.
So I want to touch on something because you brought up the direct line. Think about this. Picture this.
Mhm.
You've worked your entire life
Sure.
to get to one company. You've made it to that company now.
Yeah.
You're working that company. You are a valued member of that company up to this point.
Uh-huh.
And then on your wedding day, you get fired from that company.
Sure.
And this is at the point, the only company that does the thing that you do on the level that you do it on, and there's nowhere really else for you to go because everything else is basically the small time for it.
New Japan.
New Japan
It's not bigger. It's not as big as WWE.
is not a tenth as where New Japan is not in the same conversation as WWE.
Sure.
I love that we like to try to put it there, but it's not. It is at the whims of Tony Khan that it's not been bought by him yet. Okay?
That's true.
Like, let's put it that way. One
good tax return.
one very autistic billionaire could end New Japan's legacy right now. Okay, so let's not pretend that they are anywhere near the same level. Even back in 2014, when he was fired, they were even smaller than they were.
Yeah.
All right, they had even less money. They weren't owned by Bushiroad, the massive multi-billion-dollar corporation that bought them and got them to this point.
Sure.
We're talking about someone where your only option at that point has now fired you. This was your goal, dream, and everything has now been taken away from you. It's out of your control.
Yeah.
He didn't even get to tell anyone goodbye.
So
think about what do you think? What would that do to your psyche? How would that? If this is the only thing you've ever done. Now you can no longer do the thing you want to do.
Sure, I got you.
And then you get to come back to that thing.
I want.
And because you fell out of love with the thing because what happened to you made you hate the thing you loved.
Sure, but that's the thing, though. Here it is. I understand exactly what you're saying, but WWE shouldn't be the end all be all for every single.
But it
wrestler.
was at the time. It doesn't matter whether it should or not be. It was.
Sure.
That's what it was. It doesn't matter whether it should or shouldn't be. The feelings don't matter at this point. How your emotions on it, or your opinion on how it should have been, isn't the reality of the situation.
You're talking emotional. We're talking emotional.
No, I'm not talking emotional.
Just yell at me.
Yeah,
just yelling.
No, yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, no, because it is an emotional thing to lose the one thing you really love to do in life, and then be told, "Hey, you can't do that on the platform you wanted to do it on."
Yeah, you just go to Japan and do it, as opposed to Danielson, who was told, "If you do this, you will be compromised to a permanent end."
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying here. You're not getting what I'm saying. You're not getting what I am saying here. He got to go to the absolute peak of what he wanted to do, and then was unceremoniously kicked out of the thing that he wanted to do, making him fall out of love with that thing. Okay? People have that happen all the time to them in life.
I understand.
Right?
But would Mick Jagger stop writing music because they kicked him out of the Rolling Stones?
Mick Jagger, yes.
You don't think? Okay, I mean, the Beatles broke up.
Okay,
and
no,
Paul
I don't.
McCartney still put out Wings.
Listen, I don't.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Beatles.
Just get a new guy.
No.
You're getting so mad. He's getting mad.
Yes, because you're making fun of my fucking point.
I don't think it's a good point.
Okay, so you don't think it's a good point to get fired from something and then lose your love and fall into a depression on it? You think depression's not a good point?
I do, but I think that the point.
Okay, so he fell out of love with the thing that he did because he was taken out of it out of his own will.
Yeah.
And then he finally learned, oh, wow, I can go back to it. I'm loving the thing again. That's not a connection. You're fucking stupid if you don't think it is.
I think it's a better connection that Danielson always loved wrestling and he couldn't do it. It's more painful. It's more painful to still love something and not be able to do it, as opposed to I don't love this thing anymore because I don't.
No, it's not.
He didn't think about it. Punk wrote comic books and tried cage fighting. You know, Danielson sat at home and was on Total Divas and was probably just like, I want to do a headlock takeover so bad.
No, but when you get something taken away from you like that, you don't have the control.
Sure.
You can still love it, but you can't be in love with it.
I mean, I think Danielson still
he was because it was a physical thing.
Sure.
Right? It was a physical thing that took him out. It was his body.
Yeah, his neck, yeah.
Punk was other people. Other people took it away.
Sure, but Punk could have just wrestled somewhere else.
Oh my God.
He could have wrestled.
Oh my fucking God. That's not the argument. No, he couldn't. No, he couldn't.
Just not at the highest level.
Yes, that's the point.
Who cares?
The point is that WWE was wrestling at the time. That's the point. It was the only place you could go. Do I need to say it louder and slower for you?
I'm gonna look up wrestling companies in 2013. I bet there's like at least 10.
Oh yeah, please tell me of them. How many are his WWE?
Well, no one's gonna be as. No one's ever. What's going on?
Yes, yeah, sure. They're close.
No, they're not.
Close enough.
They're not.
They're close enough.
AEW is nowhere near the size. WWE is like they're a publicly traded company. That's how big they are. Like they're like Walmart, dude. They're massive. No one's ever gonna be. But okay, so if I work for a company, right? If I work for I don't know, Walmart, the biggest. The biggest.
And okay, we have to note that Walmart pays you $45 an hour, and everywhere else pays you $1 to $2 an hour. Okay, so let's picture it there because that's how that works.
So you're saying that no one could afford CM Punk?
It's not that everyone could afford CM Punk. It's that the amount of money that was being paid by the other companies isn't worth going back to.
No, I get that. You also got to sell towards the camera. I know you're selling towards me, but dude, here's the thing. I don't care. I don't care about the money. I care about the art.
Okay, but I
think Danielson cares about the art more than Punk does.
Holy fucking shit. It's not about that. It is about the concept of losing something you love.
Sure.
Because that's what Punk did.
Didn't they both lose it, though? They both lost it. I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
But no. That's the thing, is he fell out of love with it, and then he fell back in love with it. He was able to learn to love the thing that he hated, that he ended up hating because through one way or the other. And if that's not an absolute winner of a depression story of getting to come back to something and finding joy in your life.
And then breaking your foot. That sucks. He came back. He broke his foot.
Yes, because he was happy.
He did look really happy when he came back.
He was so happy when he came back.
So was Danielson.
Because, okay, but they were for different reasons. One was he was happy that he finally got to wrestle again.
Sure.
The other was happy that he wasn't depressed about wrestling anymore.
Sure. I think they both had a lot of depression about wrestling.
Well, no, Bryan was going to come back regardless.
I think that's why he left WWE, so they didn't want him to wrestle much. You know.
They didn't want him to wrestle as much. No.
Yeah. I think Danielson would have gone to Japan if AEW wasn't there. I think you'd see Danielson in the G1 if he didn't go to AEW.
You would have seen him on like a part-time basis wrestling occasionally. Sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But what I am getting at is there is a chance that Punk didn't come back.
Yeah. We had to go to the phones real quick because this episode has gone a little over. It's been a good time though. I'm gonna look at the chat here. Generico says this dude's getting heated over a point that doesn't even make sense. I'm following Generico over that. That's funny as hell. Hey, look, it's Sammy Generico. That must be the shoot one. He thinks you're crazy. You didn't even look. Let's see. Also says here he wasn't unceremoniously fired. He left, and then they fired him months later. This was his fault. So to CM Punk walk out of WWE, then
as a storyline.
No, I thought he shoot walked out. I don't remember. Let me figure that out. What happened? Because I thought he.
No, the walking out was always.
No, I thought
it was like it was sold as a work shoot.
Okay. Transform.
Because there was a thought because he was like, oh, he doesn't have a contract. He's leaving with the belt. And then he left with the belt.
Yeah, I feel that. Stretch the screen. There we go. Oh, wait, that's 2K14. Let's see. Punk's leaving. Final storylines. Took a month away. Initial retirement.
So he got injured.
So at TLC, Punk won the match after Reigns accidentally performed a spear on Ambrose.
Then initial retirement. Go down there.
Punk did not appear in January. In February, during a conference. Oh, it's the investors. Okay. Appears as despite retires for both events. So he just didn't show up. Did not appear on January 27th. So he didn't appear. And then 20 days, and then a month later during a conference call, they said that he was taking a sabbatical. June 15th, officially removed Punk from the roster. Page July. So, like, you didn't show up to work for 6 months.
Then continue.
July said he's never, ever going to return to wrestling. No, that's when he was out. That's when he quit.
Yeah.
And this was the 2014. This is the Art of Wrestling podcast with Cole Cabana. So yeah, so he stopped going to work January 27th, 2014, and then they fired him on July 15th or removed him from the page. I guess that's his wedding day or whatever.
A little bit. Hold on.
Yeah, so they got rid of him. They fired him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he didn't go to work. He no-showed a month. I don't know if they talked to him or whatever, but then they fired him. You don't go to work for 6 months. You're probably gonna get fired. Hey,
they say no. Well, see, that's the thing is he's an independent contractor, so he can do that.
I understand.
That's how that works.
I understand that's how it works, but it's not necessarily how it works at WWE. You know, they have weird independent contracts.
I mean, also wrestlers are just allowed to take extended periods off because they just add them time to the end of their contract.
All right, let's get to the bit. Let's get to it. Let's see who's won. Let's go to the poll here. The poll with 1,252 votes. 1,252. Great poll for the winner. With 40% CM Punk, 60% Daniel Bryan. That's not as close as I thought it would be. I mean, people must have voted.
No, it's after this.
It's got to be after this.
Because you can look up the poll that we did when we did this argument before.
Yeah,
and it was like 55, like it was like 50-53, or like it was very.
Okay.
It was much. It was like 47-53. It was much closer.
Gotcha. So we got. Yeah, I'll show it on the camera later. I'll post this, but let's see. Let's get into the calls from the actual post. Danielson is top 2 wrestler in the world. Punk not even in the top 30 from Slayer. You think about that. Danielson top 2 in the world here.
He's not even top 2.
Who do you think the top 2 best in-ring wrestlers in the entire world are? Probably Japanese wrestlers.
Of all time?
Of all time. It's what he said. Slayer says Danielson is top 2 in the world. Punk is currently
wrestling. He's not even top 2.
Will Ospreay.
Currently, it's Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada. It's not a real close competition here.
I put Zack Sabre Jr. up there too. I like Zack Sabre Jr. He's really interesting to watch.
I mean, yeah, he's a good wrestler, but I mean, like as a whole package.
Danielson as an American, top 2.
Okay, now we're just getting.
Hey, it's Olympics time, baby.
He's not even for current.
Yeah, for current, I think American. I think he's top 2 American easily. I think Seth Rollins can secretly still go. I just don't think they allow him off the leash a lot of the times, unfortunately. I actually mentioned that in my.
Listen, a lot of wrestlers are British now, so it's British.
Yeah.
Listen, a lot of wrestlers are British and Canadian right now. And Canadian,
they're so hot right now. And I thought Speedball Mike Bailey was an American. He's apparently Canadian.
No, he's Canadian. Dude.
Yeah, I know. I put it in a TikTok. I was roasted mercilessly. Bald Bro says I go with Danielson not for his in-ring ability, but his chase for the title against the Authority starting in SummerSlam 2013, all culminating at WrestleMania 30 is one of my favorite storylines of all time. Great storyline. Let's see. Danielson by every standard from Q, Danielson from Cammy. No one else could get me interested in a last-minute match like him, not even Punk. I'm looking for some more. Okay, here we go. Friday Freshness says promos. It's Punk. Pure Wrestling. It's Danielson, which I understand. All right, here we go. I think Punk is one of the best in the last 24 years. Top tier on the mic. Never was really athletic or smooth, but still understands how to have an amazing match. But I think Bryan is the GOAT. I get you. Better at what? Let's see. I'm trying to find some. Okay, so the chats make it seem like Danielson by a mile, but it really was. It was pretty close. Let's see. Punk on the mic, which it's hard for me to disagree. I think Punk is better on the mic. But
Punk is a fantastic microphone man.
Yeah, he's a great stick man. Let's see. From Tony with the CM Punk profile photo, it says, for me, it's Punk. Danielson is phenomenal in the ring, but Punk being good in ring and excelling in other important areas like mic and character work gives him the edge. Oh, and the micest of dudes, one of a friend of the channel here, contributor, he says, oh, we cooking. Let's go. Well, speaking of going, we're going to be going because it is official that Bryan Danielson is better than CM Punk. It's something we all knew. It's something we all knew deep in our hearts.
According to the internet.
According to the internet.
According to the IWC.
According to the internet, the most internet of internet darlings is Bryan Danielson.
Of course, the Reddit crowd would like a vegan liberal.
Yeah, what about CM Punk?
With his clean hands.
You got soft hands.
And trans rights.
Yeah.
Not like Punk also doesn't embody many of these same things.
Exactly the same thing.
Like, minus maybe being vegan. I don't know his diet.
Yeah. I remember the CM Punk documentary, and we'll probably cut this from the thing, but it was like CM Punk was, he's like, oh, I've gone vegetarian to try to like lean down before something. And then he does this joke where they're in catering and there's one of those like buffet things. It's got jerk chicken. He goes, you think it'd be named after me, jerk chicken, but I can't touch the stuff. I'm like, you goober. Like, what a nerd. What a nerd. He's so cool on TV, but you make a jerk chicken pun. Ugh, get out of my face. All right. We're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for watching this and everything at Suplex Media. If you have a suggestion on what to wrestlers, match types, professional wrestling furniture, we'll say, you think should be debated, leave it in the comments and let us know, and we will get to them as soon as we can. Thank you all so much for all your time, and please give us a subscribe, share this video, and remember, most importantly, professional wrestling is predetermined. Your life isn't. Go do something great today. We'll see you next time.
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Suplex Media. Ding, ding.
All right, cool. So I'm going to end the